Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's LaShanda Henry here, aka SistaSense, and once again, you and I are officially inside the SistaSense Firestarter Circle monthly mastermind experience for our two-part intensive on content to cash flow. When it comes to learning how to grow as an infopreneur, learning how to consistently promote your digital products and your best offers, I'm really just laser focused on how can I get things done quickly and help you do the same. So we're going to today dig into some of my personal favorite content to cash flow solutions, specifically over the next two mastermind sessions that we have, this one now and then another one in 2 weeks. We're going to dig into 4 ways to repurpose your content, 4 things to add to a work with me guide, because I always say, right, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so for some of y'all, opportunities keep coming, but you keep knocking them away because you're not ready for them. So creating a work with me guide and getting clear about really positioning yourself for the kind of attention, right, that you want. We're definitely going to work on that, as well as talk about different things that you can do to monetize your content and even work on setting up your own challenges. So we have a lot to explore as you guys are coming in the virtual door. Say, hey, let me know who you are. And also, out of curiosity, I would love to know, where you are, like what kind of content you're working on, and if you feel like you have any challenges when it comes to content creation, feel free to share that with me as you guys are coming on in and participating in our experience. Now, if you're listening via the replay and you've missed the live, it's okay. You can still check in and participate as part of our Facebook group over at firestarters.sistasense.com. Okay, so it's an opportunity for everyone to check in and dig in. So let's do this. As you guys are coming in and checking in the chat box, I am going to keep on keeping on outside of sharing the agenda. The first thing that I want to do to kick off this conversation with you is talk about the essentials that we're going to be working in, okay? So I'm very much a Google Docs kind of a girl. Second to always having a notebook with me. Am I the only one who is just like overly obsessed with notebooks? Second to always having a notebook somewhere on hand. I love to create Google Docs that I can really clearly outline what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So definitely go over to Google Docs, and you can actually copy the brain dump document that we're going to be working on today by going to the following link, SistaSense.com/CTCMD. CTC stands for Content to Cash Flow. MD stands for Mastermind Doc, okay? So that's basically an example of a brain dump document that I put together. And in that, I outlined a few of the core topics that we're going to be covering today. So you can open that, and it's going to kind of give you a jump start to what we will be working on, okay? Now, as you guys are doing that, just let me know if you're able to download the if you're able to open the document. Don't start editing it, because that is one document that is shared across all of us. So what you actually want to do when you open that document is you want to make a copy. So I cannot stress that enough, especially for those of you listening to the replay. When you go to that document, it's open, but it's a shared document. So don't just jump in there and start turning it upside down. You want to go to File, Make a Copy, okay? So that is definitely top priority on our list here, going to docs.google.com. Making sure that you log into your Google account. You can go to SistaSense.com/CTCMD so that you can make a copy of the document that I created for you. I see, hey, Renee. Renee says made a copy. Awesome. Number 2. Number 3, how many of you use Canva? How many of you use Canva? Let me know if you use Canva, number one. And number two, if you have the Canva app. Grab that, because Canva is life. The Canva app is amazing. So you don't necessarily have to do Canva on your computer. Me personally, they've, in the last, I want to say in the last year, they have been really revving up the app. It is just so user-friendly that now, to be honest with you, most of the time, I don't even go on my laptop. I just open up the app on my phone and edit directly from there. So definitely grab the Canva app. Then I have some custom templates that I have created as part of this experience, and those templates are available inside of the member area of our Mastermind group. So for those of you who are part of the monthly Mastermind, when you go over to SistaSense.com and you click on members, log into your account, and you will see that just underneath the replay video player, there are links to download the templates for today. So as part of the Mastermind, we do our live sessions, and in the Mastermind area, there are lots of things, including the replays that we do for each month, and then any essential links that I want to give you. If you're able to participate in the live or watch the replay and you're not able to access those links, you can certainly get access to the Mastermind over at SistaSense.com/M27. M27 if you are not an active Mastermind member, but you have the opportunity to tune in. So outside of Google Docs, outside of the Canva app, outside of the templates I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, there's also the Facebook group over at firestarters.sistasense.com. Facebook group is life, an opportunity for us to check in, for me to stay connected and let you guys know what's going on, and for you to let me know what you're working on. And of course, you can also share both your docs and your Canva, the templates. Once you start playing with those templates, you can share your results with me. You can email both your doc and your Canva content to sistasense@gmail.com. Okay, so those are some of the essentials that we are going to be working in together, and I will periodically just remind you of these as you guys are coming in. You may want to take a screenshot of this if you're just coming in and you're like, what? What? I just got here. What's going on? Open Google Docs, grab the Canva app, go to sistasense.com/CTCMD and make a copy of the brain dump document, and this is where we will begin today. All right. So let me know, you guys. I think I saw a couple of yeses. You got the document? I saw yes and yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I am going to move from this slide, move on to step 0. Now that we've talked about the agenda and the essentials, the first thing I want to do is to share with you some of my personal repurpose recommendations. And the first thing that I want you to think about is, what content can you repurpose? Okay? So as I go through this list, as I mentioned before, I actually created that brain dump document, and all the questions that I'm asking you are in this document already. SistaSense.com/CTCMD. CTC for content to cash flow, MD for mastermind document. CTCMD, just saw somebody drop the link in there for me. Thank you so much. So that you can open it, but don't directly edit the document. Please go to File, Make a Copy, so you have your copy. The document, when you open it initially, is a shared document for everyone in the community, okay? So you can write in a notebook, but if you have the document, you can go in there, make a copy, and start typing out your responses. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what content can you repurpose, okay? And I'm going to share the next series of questions digging in a little bit deeper as far as what I mean when I say repurpose. So the next question here is, what content can you remix? And when I say remix, I mean you can put a new spin on it, you can put a new face on it, you can update it so that it serves a new purpose. So for example, I'm a visual girl, so I'm always going to give you guys examples. I have quite a few of my favorite self-published marketing books that I've created that when I looked at the copyright, I was like, whew, I made this when? One of them, Do Something, Feel Accomplished, I wrote that one in 2019. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the other one, Start Her Up, How to Start Your Business on a Drawstring Budget, I wrote that one, I want to say back in, I think maybe 2016 or 2017. And I was going through it, and I was like, well, some of these things I don't use anymore. Some of these things, there are new processes and new tools, so I could definitely remix this so that it's relevant for today. So with that example being said, I want you to think about for yourself, maybe you have some material, and I love that I see all my favorite ladies in the building. Faye and I were actually talking about this, and she was like, LaShanda, I need to figure out how I can take some of this good, amazing content that I have and expand it and share more stuff related to that, right? So I know, Faye, you already have content that you're like, I definitely want to repurpose this. But, think about that. And I love being able to share not only my experiences, but bring you guys into the mix, because sometimes you have shared experiences. And in her case, she's so amazing at creating this great content on the LinkedIn platform. You can think about for yourself, maybe you have really engaging content on social media that you could make the most of. In my case, I was just talking about having content that I wrote several years ago that honestly is evergreen. It's always valuable, but some of it could actually be updated to be more relevant for today, right? So I want you to think about, and feel free as we're going through this list to share what you're coming up with me, okay? So I love that you guys posted that link into the comment box. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for that. SistaSense.com/CTCMD. That's where you can grab this brain dump document that we're going in right now. Make a copy, start answering these questions. So repurposing your content, thinking about for yourself automatically some material that you have that you know you want to use more and in different ways. Maybe you have some idea as far as what you want to do with it. Make note of that first. And then as I'm giving you other things, add that on. I always like to say at the foundation of anything, you have some sense of where you are, what you want to do, what you want to work on, right? I'm just here to help kind of, zhuzh it, kind of grease the wheels, right? But start with what you have in mind first. So what can you repurpose? What can you remix? What can you reformat? What can you reformat? This is a great question when it comes to repurposing content, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of times, you don't have to, drive yourself insane trying to figure out something new to produce. You can just reformat what you already have. So, there's a lot of content that I have from last year that is video-based. I gave myself the challenge of going live every day, and I did that for a little over a year. And then I stopped to take a break this year. But, with a lot of video content comes a lot of material that I could actually transcribe. And there have been a few of my self-published marketing books that the content of the books were actually based on material I shared in live streams before I even did those actual printed books. So that's something for you to consider as well. You have material in one format and you can share it in a different way that would, help you create more content, but then also help you diversify your audience. I remember one of the ladies in my circle said to me one time, and at the time, I was blogging like hardcore all the time. And then I started to do audio. And she was like, oh my gosh, LaShanda, I am loving this audio because I can listen to it on the train, on my way to work, and it's just really convenient for me. And so sometimes it's not just simply about what it is that you're trying to deliver, but how you're delivering it. You know, text might work for some people, audio for another, video for another. You know, everybody's got their thing, right? So maybe you've got some things that you can reformat, and I want you to think about that as well, okay? So let's keep on keeping on as we go through initially some of the questions I want you to ask yourself when it comes to repurposing content, right? What can you remix? What can you reformat? And if I give you any of these terms and as I define it, you're a little bit confused and you want me to go back to anything, feel free to let me know, okay? So the next question here is, what can you repeat? What can you repeat? So it could be that you have either a specific content piece that you can share more often, or you have a type of content that you can share more often. So I'm going to explain what that means, okay? There are speakers who get paid for their content, and they speak in multiple venues, right? But they don't necessarily come up with something new every single time they speak. They have certain signature sessions that they've put together, and they will share that same thing in different venues. Have you ever experienced that? Or maybe some of you are speakers and you've done that, where you've taught in different platforms and different spaces, but it's the same thing, just a different audience, right? Or you've gone to an event and you've heard somebody who's pretty, well known, and you go, oh, I heard them speak and share this at ... They shared this session that they're doing here, right? That's something that you can do. Because here's the thing. I don't know where this comes from, right? But internally, a lot of us women, a lot of us entrepreneurs, we have this thing where we create something and we share it, and maybe a handful of people see it or hear it, but somehow in our minds, we go, I've already done it. I can't do that again. I can't repeat that again. I got to come up with something fresh because they've already seen it. And in my mind, I've had to say to myself, baby, you're not Beyonce, okay? You ain't reached Oprah status yet. So unless you told me that a bajillion people saw it, you can repeat it. You can say it again. And that's something worth mentioning because, again, a lot of times people, they second guess themselves and the quality of what they produce, always thinking that the only way for them to make more or appeal to people more is to constantly come up with something new. And really, when you dig into repurposing, the act of repetition is a huge part of that. So some of you are in places where you have content that is great, that is sufficient, and you're struggling to consistently put stuff out there because you always have this mindset that you have to come up with new stuff, when in fact, you should be putting what you have out there more often. So I said to you, there are two ways to think about repetition. Either you say the same thing multiple times, right? So let's say I do this content to cash flow training today, and then maybe 2 weeks from now I go, hey, I'm going to do content to cash flow training again. Now I'm doing it again because there's a part 2 of this, right? It's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be different stuff in 2 weeks. But I could say, okay, I could do the same type of thing. Like, I know that I have a lot of content when it comes to teaching you marketing and sales. hence why I do these masterminds twice a month, every single month, right? So the type of content, which is putting together a presentation, having brain dump documents, having templates, having activities for you to do, the type of content, I repeat that every single month. And I also repeat the topics because you'll find that I will teach on one tool and I may come back to that tool maybe 2 to 3 or even 4 months later, either teach the same thing in a new way or teach something different because tools have changed and trends have changed. But I definitely make the most of maximizing my content using repetition, okay? So the first part of this process is really opening yourself up to the possibilities of the answers you're looking for are honestly within you, right? This is your own PCS, personal clarity session, to ask yourself the right questions if converting more of your content into cash flow is something that you intentionally want to do. I see somebody just said true. Okay, I do that sometimes. Hey, Levon, welcome. So, what content can you repeat? Last question here. What content can you repackage? What content can you repackage? So, I remember crazy. At the ending of 2019, I wrote one of my quick books, my small self-published books, and it was Pivot, 5 Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make and How to Fix Them. That was in 2019. Then all of a sudden rolls 2021 and all the things. And what is one of the biggest buzzwords of 2021? Well, girl, you got to pivot. Well, hey, it's time to pivot. Hey, pivot on purpose. Pivot was popping last year, and people still using the word pivot, but we've kind of adjusted enough so that we don't have to pivot, to the point we breaking breaking necks and backs anymore, right? But it was definitely a buzzword. And so that gave me an opportunity to share the pivot concept and to share the book, and I gave it away for a while for free over at SistaSense.com/pivot, because I was like, you should be reading this. The things that I talk about now is really the time to take some of these things into account, especially for those who needed to transition and figure out where to start. So it was about repackaging, taking something that was a part of a paid product and adding it into an experience that began with a free product, right? Or taking things that maybe were standalone products and then repackaging them and pairing them with similar things to create a new product, right? These are certainly all things that you can do so that you're making the most of what you've already produced. And as I share these repurpose questions with you, one of the refactor words that I encourage you to really dig into is to reset your understanding of the value of what you've produced. I've spoken to people who make multiple 6 figures with millions of people who have access to them. And when they talk to me and they tell me what they've produced, and I tell them, oh, girl, you need to repurpose this and you need to work that into this, and they go, oh, no, I would have to edit that first, or I have to do it again. It can't work the way it. I'm like, why? Why can't it work? I'm definitely TikTok obsessed right now, and one of those audios that they use a lot is, how would they know? Have you heard that one? The soundbite of, how would they know? How would they know? How would they know that you feel like there are edits in there or errors in there, things that need to be changed, or things that, you forgot to mention? How would they know? I need you to reset your mindset when it comes to looking at what you've produced and thinking it's not good enough or it's outdated or you need to go and spend $1,000 to have it professionally edited before somebody would buy it. Try it. Try to repurpose. Try to find more value in what you do, because nothing that I tell you is going to fundamentally help you convert your content into cash flow if you do not love your content enough to express how amazing and valuable it is. You're not going to put it out there. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to push it, because a part of you going to be like, ooh, they're really going to buy it. I mean, I already did it. I already sold it. It's kind of old. Whatever is subconsciously in you that prevents you from really promoting it or putting it out there is always going to be there. It's always going to block you from moving forward. So you have to reset your mind. You have to release those thoughts so that you can get better at repurposing. Don't know who that was for. But I've had these repurpose conversations enough over the years to know that that was for somebody. Okay? So with that being said, as you ask yourself these questions, the big question here, the first one being, what content can you repurpose, right? I want you to, and as you guys are, participating, especially those of you participating live, let me know. You can drop in the comment box and say, hey, LaShanda, I have this thing that I'm like, ooh, I can definitely repurpose that. What content can you repurpose? And how can you repurpose it? When you look at this little short list, do you think you have something you can remix, reformat, repeat, or repackage? Or maybe something else, right, that I haven't listed or mentioned here? How do you think you could tweak it? So in that document that I gave you, go in there, make a copy, and start answering some of these questions. And from there, we're going to continue to go through this process today, okay? But again, I always love interacting with you guys. So as you go through it, I'd be curious to know, what pieces of content you're seeing that you could really take and run with. I can tell you that from personal experience, funny, I'll tell you two stories really quickly. One of my clients is currently working on a book that she's releasing, and she said, okay, LaShanda, I'm like, yeah, I've got all these pages done, so I was super excited about that. And she's like, as I'm working on getting this book done, what should I be doing before it's done? So I gave her like a short list of things that she should be doing. And I said, well, one of the things is, because she's like, I'm trying to gauge if this kind of content is things that people would be interested in. And I said, you need to put out that you want to talk to clients, and you'll get on calls with clients more, because not only are calls, one-on-one calls with clients, as I do mine tomorrow, Wednesday, I do calls every Wednesday. Not only are those calls helpful to the people who want your information, but they're helpful to you because you get a better sense of what people need. So as you're trying to flesh this stuff out, don't just sit there and kind of be in your head and in your space writing. Talk to people more. Get on calls with more people who can flood you with questions, which, again, are very eye-opening. So that being one story, it kind of reminds me of another story. A few weeks ago, one of my clients said, LaShanda, listen, I don't know if I said this to you before, but I really need to know what you're doing to get people to buy your stuff without ads. Like she said to me, I've done Facebook ads, didn't get the results that I was wanting to get, unfortunately. And I know you don't, teach Facebook ads, but what are you doing? And that really was a huge thing for me. It was a reminder that because I've been doing this for 2 decades, and I'm like predating all of this. I'm like way back in the day when we had Yahoo groups and MySpace and, Black Planet. I predate smartphones, and who knew what the hell an app was? There were no such things as apps when I started, building my entrepreneurial journey. So for a lot of people, when they hear go online and market yourself today, the automatic assumption is, well, you got to spend money on Facebook ads and YouTube ads and all the ads. But if you're not doing that, what else are you doing? And so I say that to say that was a reminder to me that one of the things that I can repurpose as far as content is how I sell without ads. You know, that content I've created already. You know, I already teach how I market, but teaching it in such a way that really is targeted towards the person who's looking for an alternative to doing investing in. Not that there's anything wrong with those platforms. I mean, every now and again I'll drop a couple of dollars on, you know, advertising, but it's not something that I do predominantly because I've been doing other marketing strategies. That's something for me. So I really want you to, you know, have your ears open, your heart open, your mind open to conversations, and also to just you knowing already intuitively that you have pieces of content that you really want to expand on, you want to do more things with. Why do you want to do it? What are those pieces? Let's make it happen. Okay? So I think I've talked about that to exhaustion. I mean, this is important because, again, I find that sometimes what you need, it's not in somebody else's lap. It's not, oh, you know, I can't do this because I can't get on a call with so-and-so. It's in you, right? We just got to pull it out, right? Let me see here. I see somebody says my Periscope videos, awesome. So content you know you got that's just kind of sitting there. My Facebook Lives, my social media posts, my freebies, my media, my ebooks, my lives as well. Good. So you guys are ready. You just dropping all of these great things that you're like, man, I've got it. It's sitting there. Like I said, I know exactly what you mean. I have so many great live streams. I was doing at least one live every day for over a year. That's 365 plus days of content, right? You know how much stuff I want to turn from video to written? It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. So with that being said, let's get out of your head now some pieces that you can repurpose. I have about 30 different repurpose strategies that I've personally tried. And I am going to be doing a workshop on Saturday, this coming Saturday. I'm going to share 12 ways to repurpose your content. We're going to do 4 of the 12 today because that's a full one-day workshop. For those of you who are participating in a few of my programs, you already got the details for that. And if you guys have questions about that, let me know. But we're going to dig into 4 of the 12 today, and that's 12 of like 30-plus strategies. I just had to stop at a certain point because after a point, you're just like, it's too much. It's too much. But if you've got in mind some pieces of content that you can repurpose, I want you to think about the following strategies. Now, it's worth mentioning this. So some of you said, oh, I've got like videos I can repurpose. If you can get specific right now, even if you could just think of 1 or 2 videos that you did, either you just enjoyed doing it or it got a great response, I want you to hold that in your mind, okay? I remember doing a live that people absolutely loved, and I was talking about how to stop holding yourself back so that you can move forward. And whew, that one people really enjoyed. If you can just dig a little bit deeper, not just kind of the general type of content, but specific titles, names, topics, I want you to do that now, okay? Now, the first one on this list here is clip it. Clip it, okay? So I said to you, one of the things that I have is this amazing list of 30-plus ways that you can repurpose content that I've written out, okay? The same material can be clipped, and when I say clip, I'm talking about video content, right? So I can turn these into clips of video clips. And I'm sharing, here's one way to repurpose, here's another way to repurpose, here's another way to repurpose, and I can do that till the cows come home. Because I have about 30 plus of them, I can literally do 1 a day for a month and be good to go, right? But what's great about that is not only can I do short video clips, I can do long content, right? So like I'm doing in a few days, here's 12 of the 30. right, in a complete webinar workshop. So I can do short promotional clips, I can do longer video content, or I can take video content that I've already produced and clip that. So you can look at it from two sides of one coin. Either you can turn your material into video clips and reformat it from one version to the next, or you can take some of the clips that you have and repurpose it. So for some of you, I saw somebody say Periscope, you've got content that you can pull out pieces from, right? One of the biggest, most well-known entrepreneurs today that makes entrepreneurship look so sexy, Gary Vaynerchuk. And one of the things that he does really well, not personally, but he's got a huge team behind him, is that they take a lot of his content and clip it and repurpose it across his platforms on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. And you'll see all of these great pieces where he's showing you things that he predicted, 5 years ago, and then, his thoughts on it now, what came true, what didn't come true. I've got videos of me and my son. Like, I've been doing YouTube videos since my son was, a few months old, and he's now going to be 15, it's completely feasible for you to maximize the material you have. You just have to put the time in to do it. When it comes to video clips, by the way, two of my favorite tools, Filmora for video editing. Filmora is a tool that you can download onto your computer, and it's not very expensive. It's created by a company called Wondershare, and I've been using them for a while. Before Filmora, I invested a couple of $100 into something called Camtasia, and it's great, but Camtasia, I think it's a little bit, Camtasia and Final Cut Pro, some of those are more than the average person needs, and with all the apps that we have nowadays, it's easier to use things that are user-friendly for beginner people or completely non-techie people. I think when it comes to being a non-techie, Filmora is a good place to start. Even easier than that, there are a ton of apps. One of my favorite apps for video editing is called InShot, InShot. It's really great. It's really easy, especially because a lot of the content that you have more than likely is on your phone. So being able to reformat your video, put it in different sizes, combine things, clip things, it's a really good tool. So those are two tools. Can you clip it? Create clips and or clip video content you've already created, number one. And if you can, get specific. What pieces? What pieces? So, for example, when I decided that I was going to, as part of my content creation campaign, as you can tell, everything that I'm doing right now is about content, right? I said to myself, as part of this conversation on repurposing, I have a great video in which I talked about how I turned one product into 4 figures by repurposing and just leveling that product multiple times. And it was a great training that I did via live stream, and it's connected to this. So either sharing that in combination with the training that I do on Saturday, or clipping it as promotion, all things that I can do. So one of the things that I like to talk about is repackaging when you repurpose, right? So that was actually a live training that I did, and I can offer it as part of my training and say, hey, in addition to what I'm going to teach today on repurposing, let me show you how I was able to repurpose this piece of content, turn it into a 4-figure launch, and these were the steps that I took to do that. So you can watch the video, plus you could get the webinar, right? One of the ways that I add value when people buy from me is not necessarily having to create all the things, but repurposing things that I already created. So some of you guys will jokingly say to me sometimes, did I get that already? Did I buy this again? And you're like, wait, is it the same thing? Thank God you check in with me. But a lot of times I will take something that I previously produced and add it as a bonus to something now. And the value in that is twofold. Number one, you get the latest version because I'm giving you what's new when it comes to that concept. But number two, and I'm going to be honest with you, I got a lot of folks in my circle who they're great at their skill, but they're not so great at organization. And that's creatives. You know, a lot of those creatives are messy. I've got my messy rooms myself. Some parts of my money is organized, but other parts of my life is a little bit messy. I say that to say, sometimes you buy things and you're like, I don't know what computer that's on. I don't know what cloud that's on. I don't know where I put it. So one of the great values of the bonuses that I offer is for some people, it gives them immediate access to something that maybe they remember seeing at some point, but they don't remember where the hell it was. And they don't have to buy it again because they're going to get it as part of a bonus to something new that I'm doing. So there are lots of ways to interpret the value of repackaging things when you are trying to figure out how to turn your content into new cash flow. So Clip It is one, right? I want you to think about that. But the next one on this list here is Snippet, okay? And you know me, I love to be, you know, a little bit cute when I do these things. So it really just became, you know, all these little, it is a part of every single strategy, by the way. So I was like, how can I incorporate it into all of these 30-plus strategies? So Snippet is the next one. And I'm very, very much big on, and you probably heard me say this a million times, big on taking pages out of things that you've already produced and sharing that. Literally, I was following one of the people that I watch on Instagram today, and she was reading from a book, and she's like, oh my gosh, you got to get everything that this author makes. You have to get it. This book is so great. And I was like, where's my Amazon Prime? Where's my debit card? I literally just jumped on, looked at the video, and was just like, impulse buy, I need that book now. I was like, I have to do this Mastermind, so I can't buy it right now. But the power of just not only video clips, right, you know, just reading from the book, the power of somebody you value their wisdom recommending the book, right? The power of taking a snippet from the book. There's just all levels to this, right? So I want you to think about content that you created that you can pull snippets from. And some of those snippets can either be used for promotional purposes to get people excited about buying the paid content, or it can become content in and of itself. And that is particularly true of those of you who've created some big things. Like I was talking to a client once, and she has a planner, and her planner is huge. Like it's like well over 100. I think it's like close to 200 pages, if I'm not mistaken. It's big. It's a big baby. So, you know, I was like, you could really take parts of that and make smaller versions of this, and have that be equally valuable to you and your audience. So the concept of snipping, again, all of these are twofold, either using it for promotional purposes or creating a smaller version of something bigger that you've already put together, right? And I think LaVon and I, we were talking about that. LaVon is working on an awesome planner, right? And she was like, wait, this planner is getting too big. Some of these parts I really don't need in this thing. And then snipping it, pulling it out, now you've got a whole other print product that you're going to do because you're not going to integrate it into the main thing, right? So clip it number one, snippet number two. Any of this resonating with you, feel free to drop into the comment box so that I can see, and also drop those ideas into your brain dump document as they occur to you. Number 3 on this list is Listit. Listit. There's so much value in sharing your valuable list with people. Look at me. I'm sharing this short list with you of different ways to repurpose your content And other than the fact that maybe you like to hear the sound of my voice, you like my list, right? And you're here, you're leaning in, and you want this list, right? So, share your lists more with your audiences. Now, it could be just as simple as writing the list and giving it to people, right? But I think that in my case, because I've come up with these little phrases, maybe you can kind of infer what I mean when I say clip it or snippet or list it. But of course, hearing me elaborate on it, ask you questions around it, give you examples specific to each, that adds more value, right? So there are multiple layers to all of these. And when it comes to listing, you can simply just give people an outlined list. You can detail each one in your list, give them definitions, descriptions, examples, scenarios, questions, all the things, right? So there's a lot you can do with the concept of a list when it comes to the kind of content that you have produced, right? So I mentioned to you one of my clients who said, I need you to walk me through, she's invested in working with me, right, as her content coach, helping her work on her content, right? And in that experience, I'm sharing different things that I have done to promote my business without ads so she can have some solutions. And then as I'm sharing this list with her, that same list I can then share with other people in some form, right? So that's something to consider. Some of you are working with people individually, and the material that you are giving people one-on-one is material that you should be. Sometimes I'm in clarity calls with clients, and I'm like, whoo, this is good. This needs to be a workshop for folks. This needs to be a new ebook, circle, right? Highlight, reminder. That's why I really find that calls with clients are so valuable on both ends. As much as I give, I get back. What can you turn into lists? The next one here is to teach it, right? So I just kind of alluded to the fact that me giving you a list of ways that you could repurpose is, somebody says, wait, darn, I missed the session. Wait, you missed it? Are you just coming in? Do I need to reset the room? Let me know. Say, yes, I'm just coming in. I need to reset the room. We still going. One of the things that I alluded to before was we are going to do another part of this in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to go through all of this again. But the replays will be in the member area on SistaSense, so SistaSense.com. You go to click members, you log in, the replays are there, number one. Number two, I will be walking you through all 12 ways to repurpose for those of you who are going to be participating in that one day on Saturday. I'm doing 4 today, all 12 on Saturday. So if you go to, write this down, SistaSense.com/exclusive, SistaSense.com/exclusive, you'll learn about 2 things. Number one, how to get access to the webinar that's happening on Saturday, 12 ways to repurpose your content. And number 2, you'll learn about how to get access to the replays if you don't already have a member account on SistaSense. Okay, so I will recap these relatively quickly, but the idea, as I just kind of alluded to, is that yes, you can just give people a list in, a bulleted form or in a book form, but, having an experience like this where I'm explaining each item on the list takes things a step further. Now, what we're actually going to do today, believe it or not, is I'm going to give you access to some templates that I've created for each of these. I have, for the 12 different ways to repurpose, I have a template for every single one, so that not only can you see the list and hear me explain the list, but you actually can do some hands-on work using the templates as part of this to start to create some repurposed content, right? So there are multiple layers of this, and not only do I like to just kind of do this in real time, but give you real examples of how you can replicate some of my strategies in your own business. So I'm giving you a list of different things that you can do to repurpose your content, and I'm teaching you how to do that as part of this virtual experience. Now, I said I was only going to give you 4, but I have this list of 30, and I couldn't help myself. I said I'm going to just drop another one on you guys here because I do this all the time, and it's do it. Do it. One way you can repurpose your content is thinking about not just sharing the information, but just doing it for people. Some of you are in a space where you're like, look, I need money like yesterday. Like, I need more money like yesterday, and I love to do virtual content. I love to monetize my information, but a lot of times, to be honest with you, I know that I can put a higher price point on the service of doing things for people. I have a client who, what did we do last year? It was the ending of last year. She came to me and said, okay, listen, this VA, this thing, she ain't working out. She's not working out. And I love her to pieces. She's got like this, I love a New Orleans accent. It's just something about it for me. And she's like, I need you to help me. And so I did over her complete campaign for her social media. And she invested in a package for me to do that. So just as I can give you a list and I can give you a training or I can give you templates, I can just do it for you. And some of my clients are just like, yeah, how much does it cost? Because, yeah, I prefer you do it. And some of you, you don't have to do it for a bunch of people, but if you can find, a micro group of people who would be willing to invest in you doing some of these pieces for them, that is possibly another way for you to repackage and repurpose your material without doing something completely different, right? Or even working terribly hard, because to be honest with you, I don't have to work hard to find people who want me to do it for them. Like, I don't have to search the web for people who want me to create graphics or build websites. They kind of come to me and go, hey, do you have the time? And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So there's always a demand for people who would rather you just kind of fill in the blank. So consider that to be another way of looking at what it is that you have to offer to your audience. Okay? So we're going to work on these templates today, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. But to quickly reset the room, I'm going to go back to this slide right here, the essentials. For those of you who have come in and you missed when I talked about this, open up Google Docs. If you go to SistaSense.com/CTCMD, you can get a copy of the Google Doc that I created that literally has the questions that I've gone through today and some more questions that we're going to cover on within the next 15 to 20 minutes, right? So please, by the way, do not start editing that document. Open it and make a copy. SistaSense.com/CTCMD, okay? That's number one. Number two, if you don't have the Canva app, download it. It's amazing. We're going to be able to work in Canva today. Number three, I have this new amazing thing called the Template Club. Some of you have already joined it. Every month, I am just given some amazing template goodness. So many of you guys will see the graphics that I produce and go, oh my gosh, that's so great. How did you do that? Can you do it for me? So I will be hardcore sharing my templates more. And if you are able to log into your account on SistaSense.com, if you have an account over there, then when you go to the member area, underneath the video that you see, the video player, there's a player that shows you the latest replays, right? Underneath that, you should see two blue buttons, and there are two templates that we're going to be working in. Download those templates. By the way, those of you who can log into your member area and click and download those two templates, let me know that you did it so I know that the links are working and I don't have to go back and fix them. But I'm pretty sure they're working. But those are the templates that we're going to be working in today, okay? If you don't have access to it, again, you can go over to SistaSense.com/exclusive. And on that page, you can find out more about the Saturday workshop I'm doing and also about these templates and how you can access material both in the template club or in the mastermind area. All the information is on that page, okay? So with that being said, now that I kind of went back to quickly reset, download the doc, open up Canva, let you know where the templates are, let us go into, I'm going to pause with the work with me stuff because I want us to go into the template for a second. So I'm going to minimize this real quick. They are working. Thank you. Not sure who said that. Oh, that was it Valerie? Thank you, Valerie. This is what the document looks like. I saw some little icons come up here. I saw some of you guys were in there. Go to File, Make a Copy, and you can answer these questions for yourself, right? We're talking about repurposing and also working on a Work With Me guide as well, and we're going to start working in those templates today. So the first template is, well, set anyway, because these are actually template sets, is this one right here, and it's the Repurpose Your Content set. So I mentioned to you that, number one, I have a list of 30-plus ways to repurpose your content. I took 12 of those and made templates for 12 of them. And I'm going to do all 12 on Saturday. Today, because I wanted to do multiple things with you, I'm doing 4 for the mastermind, okay? So there is a set of 12. You've got the 4 of the 12. Well, if you can log into the mastermind and grab the templates, right? And I see that some of you guys are doing that. So let's walk through what these 4 look like and also how to edit them, okay? So this first one is Clip It. So this is awesome because it's really simple, but these are great for promotional purposes. You can take a screenshot. You can easily on your phone take a screenshot of a video you've done on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and then upload it to Canva and drag it right into this right here. You can easily do that with your video content, or if you have like a screen grab of something that you've done, you could do that as well. So that's the Clip It. The next one is Snippet. Really clean, really simple. You can take some content that you've written and then you can put it in this one. The next one here is the Listit. This allows you to just create a really simple short list, but of course, a lot of these platforms allow you to, on one post, upload multiple graphics. So if, let's say, you had a list of like 9, 12 plus, you could just do multiple ones of these, or you could honestly shrink the text, and if you wanted to put more than 3 on one of these pages, you could, and we'll talk about that in a second. The next one here is Teach It. I love this one. It's an opportunity for you to edit this. Now, you can use stock photos, but you can also use your own photos, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And the last one in this sample size is, no, that's the last one. You get 4. Okay. See, I was just like, yeah, there's more. But no, it just explains that this is from the template club. So we're going to work on this one first, and I'm going to show you how to tweak it, and you guys can play with it, and you can ask me questions about it, and then we'll go into the other document. So I'm going to say that for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be working on 2 templates, this one and the next one. Renee says they are beautiful. Awesome. I'm glad that you like them. So there are a couple of things that you can do here. First thing that I'm going to do, and let me see if I can do this without completely cutting myself off on my phone. I want to do a screen capture. Or should I do it from my computer? I'm trying to figure out what's the easiest way to do this. Oh, I know what to do. Should I do that? Yeah, I know what to do. Okay. Uploads. That's why we have tons and tons of uploads. So I'm going to go over to my uploads in Canva, and I'm going to look for a couple of things. Number one, I always create cover graphics, right? So I can take one of my cover graphics and pop it in here, right? Now, there's a play button right here. I can leave it or I can move it, right? It's movable. You can get rid of it. Now, because I have text here, I might want to move it. Like maybe I'll do something like that, right? But number one, you could drag and drop a cover graphic in there, okay? Or you can take a screenshot of one of your videos and then put it in there. So I had so many videos that I was doing last year, and a lot of times I would do screenshots just before I went live. So, well, here's a screenshot. This is actually this was so much fun. This was at one of my retreats, and I went live, and here are some of the ladies in the back with the swag, right? And I could probably put this here if I wanted to, or I could shrink it. Yeah, I could shrink it so you can see it, but not as much as it was before. So I can easily put a screenshot in there, right? Then I can change the text. It says watch now, new video. If you wanted to change this, you could. You don't necessarily have to. And of course, ultimately, you can change the colors, right? So this is actually an image. If you wanted to keep it, you could keep it. If you wanted to move it, you can move it. I always like to add a little something in the back. But the darker hue here, I can change this to one of my brand colors. So obviously I'm going to make it purple because then that automatically just shifts it to my branding, right? I can leave this or I can delete it. Choice is yours. But I will leave it, okay? This says host brand events on a budget. So I can change this, how to host your own brand events on a budget. So I literally, when I went and did this, I think I pressed play, watched the video on my phone, screenshot that, you know, and however you can do screenshot on your phone. If you don't know how to do it, Google it. Google the name and the version of your phone and screenshot, and somebody somewhere has made a tutorial on how to screenshot. If you already don't know how to do that on your device, right? Now, here's where things get so awesome, like so much better. You can use this to simply put in a photo, but you don't have to do photos. You know, you can actually put video in here. How many of you are using Canva to make video content? Out of curiosity. So I am going to scroll down to videos because I have, or no, not in videos. Let me go back. Now you can upload because they have a library of videos, by the way. I'm going to go back to uploads and I'm going to look for my videos that I have uploaded to the platform. So here are some little clips of videos. Now, how do I clip my videos? Again, when I clip videos on my phone, I use the app called InShot, right? So here are these little videos. I can click on this and drag it. Be like you, opportunities for clients to sit and talk to me and they say, oh, it's not like for real. How did you do that? Okay, so not only can I drag and drop photos in this little thing, I can drag and drop actual video clips. So before I put them in Canva, obviously I clip them. My sessions tend to be 20, 30 minutes at minimum, 60 minutes plus. yeah, you could upload longer content, but obviously the bigger the video size, the longer it's going to take to upload. Me personally, and I do a lot of stuff on my iPhone. I will make short little video clips on my iPhone, and then I will upload them to Canva from my phone inside of the Canva app. So that way I don't have to go through finding all these cords and connecting things to do it on my laptop, because most of the stuff is already on my phone. But the other alternative, for example, is, let's say, for example, you already have this stuff on your computer, then you can download it. You could, do it that way. Or if you have already uploaded it to, if you have Facebook video, like Facebook Lives, you can download your video from Facebook. Or if you have YouTube video and it's uploaded up there, you can download the video from YouTube. It's been a while since I've really played with Periscope. I don't know if you can download video from Periscope after the fact. I do know that when you go live, immediately after going live, you can download your video. After that, I don't know if it's still an option. Same thing holds true for Instagram Live. I know after I do an Instagram Live, I can immediately download it to my phone. But after that point, I don't think I can. So, food for thought. But now, you see this little video here? I'm going to maybe put this here or somewhere. Where do I want to put this? Maybe here. I could put it here. I just don't want to block my face. Now, mind you, if it was YouTube, it would be right in the middle of my face, and I would have anything to say about it. But I get to choose where it goes, right? Now, I can double-click in here. I can enlarge this. So I literally can zoom in so you see a certain spot, or I can move it around. Or I can even clip the content in Canva. So right now, this is a 58-second clip, so just about a minute. If I'm doing clips for like Instagram or, micro clips, I like them to be, 60 seconds or less. But I can clip this content inside of Canva here if I wanted to, right? So then when you're downloading, I can download not only just as a picture, but I can download as a video. So because I'm just using this page, I would go to download as an MP4 video, just page 1. Not all of it, just page 1. Okay? Now, this is a template. It's foundational, but it's not limited to what you see here, right? I'm going to delete that for a second because for some reason it's just kind of getting on my nerves. Because I'm like, as a designer, I'm like, where can I put it where it's not in front of my face right now? So it's just kind of getting on my nerves. I'm going to go to folders and go to logos. You know me, I always like to drop my logo in there somewhere. So I can put my logo there, but guess what? I could actually put let me not drag it, because if I drag it, it's going to think that I want to put it in the laptop box. But look, now I'm going to press play. Be like you, opportunities for clients to sit and talk to me. And so it kind of looks like the logo is in the video, even though it's not. I just put it on top of it, right? So I don't know how many of you this is like a new thing for. If you've, let me know if you've ever tried to do any video editing in Canva. But this little one slide right here, so much you can do with this. So hopefully that gives you some ideas as far as how you can repurpose material. And for some of you who go, oh man, I've got some great stuff, but it's kind of raw, it was live, I don't know, then use the template, either this or another style, or, make it a little bit more polished or a little bit more branded. Sometimes I have videos and people will go, oh my gosh, your video's so great because you have your logo in the corner or you have text on it, and I wish I could add those things. then you can import your video into Canva, add those layered pieces, add your logo, your colors, your branding, and so that it looks a little bit more polished. Cut out some of the parts that you don't necessarily want to add. Add things like animation where you're fading in or you're fading out. So for example, you see this page has the animate option. I can do all different types of animation. So right here, it's zooming in or it's rising up, and you're like, oh, that looks so cool. I didn't have to do anything overly technical other than choose the animation that I liked and then click on it, and that's about it. There's the animation. Let me hit play and see what it looks like. So, you know, it's fairly easy to use this, number one. Number two, I would love to see what you do. So you could always click share and share it with me, or you could post it and then share it with me. So I think it was either this morning or yesterday on Instagram, Regina tagged me, and she used one of the template club templates. See if I can, should still be there because it's fairly recent. Yeah. So she used one of the templates and then tagged me in it on Instagram at SistaSense, so I can see what you're working on, you know, chat with you, check it out, all the things. So again, very, very clean, very simple. You can change the color. You can remove this, obviously, and add your own logo to it, and then add your text. So I can explain, here are 3 ways to repurpose your content. And if I feel like not everything is going to fit on this one slide, I can simply duplicate the slide and change the content. I can then either go to my uploads or go to photos, find some stock photos I like, drag and drop it into the background, bim, bam, boom. I've made the template my own. Okay? So here I'm giving you a list, right? So repurpose your content. And in just a few steps, it doesn't take much. Like, you can delete, again, you can delete or add anything that your heart desires to this template, but it really doesn't take much to tweak it and make it your own. I can change the color of each of the letters here so it fits my branding. Snippet. Clip it. List it. Now, there are 2 things that you can do with this particular template. Number one, you could just simply add your logo, right? Or number 2, you could use this text box here and add your logo. It's actually in the curved feature, which is a new feature on Canva that we have been dying for. I mean, so many people have tried so many ways, myself included, to make letters curved. You just go to Effects, and it's the curved feature, and you can curve it more or you can curve it less For some of you, you probably have never seen this before. You're like, oh, I didn't know this existed. But you can't do it with a graphic. But if you chose to take your brand name or your name and write it, you could curve it, or you could just simply use the one that I've given. I just wanted to do something cute to kind of go along with the curvature of the side there. And then I could probably try this out of curiosity, take that same thing and maybe, can I flip it? Don't know if you can flip text, but I could probably rotate it. Yeah. As I'm going too fast here. To do something kind of like that. And it's not perfect. I would have to play with it a little bit, but something that kind of simulated going along the same curvature of that graphic. And just as you see here, I can modify the photos that are here by switching them out and using other stock photos that I personally like to use. Now, I saved for me, okay, so I love all the templates that I've been working on for you guys, but I saved this one because I love to do this. Canva has this new feature. Well, it's not that new. It's been around for a couple of months, but you can remove the background from an image, okay? So, yes, you can use this stock photo if you want to. I mean, these are all Canva stock photos. And I tried to only use, well, as much as possible, I tried to use the free Canva stock photos. But if you have a free account and it's like, oh, you have to pay for this, well, either you have to pay for it or then just delete it and use one of the free stock photos that you have available to you or a photo that you own. But this is basically a stock photo. Let me see if I can find it in my collection here so I can show you what it looks like with, or I could just reset it actually. Yeah, I could just reset it. Let's go to effects. Let's see if it will take that feature off for me. I want to take it off and then put it back. It didn't do it. Okay, I'm just going to delete it and then show you what it looks like. So you can use any image, and even though the image has a background, you can go to Effects and remove the background. So it's going to remove the background for me, and it's so clean. Now, I'm definitely a Photoshop girl, but I have to tell you that in the last few years, I've used Canva more and more because a lot of the things that we would have to do manually that would take ages, you can just do so quickly with a lot of these features. So, yeah, now here she is with the laptop in hand. Now, she's in front of the text, so what I would do here is go click on her and go position backward until she is behind the text. But the brown bar is now in front of her shirt. I could do a couple of things. I can move it like this, and you'll see it's square, but it's kind of cut off. What I actually prefer to do is to move it behind her. So position backward. So now it kind of looks like it's flowing out of the picture. So you can use this, again, with any stock photo features. Out of curiosity, how many of you have used this effect, remove background, before? Or you can go to your own pictures. I'm going to go to my photo shoot folder. find a photo that I want to use. Is it not in this folder? I can try this one. Effects, remove background. So some of you spend a lot of time and invest a lot of money into having designers do these things for you. And, you know, it's great for me as a designer. But, you know, I always love to be able to empower you to do, you know, some of these things on your own, right? So in, you know, just a matter of seconds, I was able to remove that, change the branding so it's more my branding. I might use one of my darker hued purples. Obviously that's off because it is not one of my brand colors. That brown isn't going to work for me. So of course it's a adjustment process, because as you're switching out the colors, the combinations temporarily, you'll be like, oh, that doesn't work. That's not your color. So yeah, definitely love being able to take the background out of pictures. And I think that this is one of my favorite templates because you can do so much with it to, you know, kind of really tweak it and make it your own. Placement is something that I work on like for a long time. I will sit here and like just to make sure everything is positioned the way I want it to. I think I could deal with it there. And that's hard to see on that, so I would probably change this to something darker. And then, you know, just kind of keep zhuzhing it and make adjustments. But so far so good without having to do much. I might enlarge the text to fill in the space a little bit. Now, I grouped it to make it easier to move, but you could just as easily ungroup it if you wanted to separate the parts, you know, and kind of work on it that way. So I'm going to pause for a second. I don't know if you guys have checked in with me at all. Faith says, I'll try this. Rhonda says, you can also publish it to your social media directly from Canva Pro. Yes, you can directly publish from Canva too, which is pretty convenient. Renee says, oh, wow, no, I didn't know this. They also have music. Yes. Kanisha says, learning. Awesome, awesome. So good stuff here. I always like to share things that, you know, take you into these platforms that maybe you're using but didn't realize you have all these awesome features that you could be really maximizing. So just kind of wanted to take you inside of this one. We're going to go into the next template now, but before we do, I'll explain to you what it's all about. So again, this is all about repurposing, right? So I said to you, for each of the repurposing concepts, I made a template. This is about, look, you could take the same content that maybe you wrote and start teaching it, making events around it, promoting the events, make videos or clip your videos. You could start sharing parts of it. So for example, my client who's working on her book, she was like, what should I be doing right now? I said, you should be getting on calls with people. You should be taking parts of the book that you're writing and share it across social media so you can get people interested and you can get them following you. I always say, you don't want to launch with no leads, right? You know, you don't want to wait till the book is done to actually start promoting it. Start to build up a following, right? Snippet. Share parts of it and the list, or say, hey, I'm going to be launching or doing an event. Like I said to you guys, we're doing 4 ways to repurpose today. On Saturday, I'm going to go through all 12. Some of you are going to participate in that. Some of you are going to watch the replays. Some of you are going to be like, oh, girl, when did that happen? I missed it. So, you know, there are a lot of ways you could take one piece of content and really build it up into multiple things, and never be without material, never be without stuff to sell. So, with that being said, please, please, please let me know what you do with this, because I am super excited to see, number one. Number two, I also want you to be able to show people how they can work with you. How many of you have your work with me content together? So you are coaches, you're consultants, you're speakers, you're service professionals, you're all the things, and you've got something to give to people to say, hey, this is what you can do to work with me. I always say you can go to workwithme.sistasense.com because I already have something put together, right? If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. I have a work with me template here. It's got 20 pages in it, and today we're going to be working on a few of the parts. So you've got 6 pages of the 20 as part of the Work With Me template. I think it came out absolutely fabulous. I use some of the elements that I use in my designs consistently. I always like to keep things really clean, 1 or 2 photos at most. Some of these parts I've used in other publications that I've done, and then some of these parts are added in. So what you'll find in this document is some core pieces to consider. Oh, okay, so these templates are available in the member area. So when you go to SistaSense.com, just log into the member area, and just underneath the replays video player, you'll see those buttons that say click to download templates. And there's the Work With Me template, and there is the Repurpose Your Content template. Those are the 2 that you guys get here. For the Work With Me template, you get 6 of the 20 pages of the full one. And for the Repurpose, you get, I think, 4 of the 12 Repurpose ones. Yeah. And then when we go into these on Saturday, we'll be going into the full versions. Awesome. So before we dig into this, let's go through some of the questions that I have for you. And they're in the document, right? So in the brain dump document, you'll see the Work With Me section. I'm going to go back into presentation mode so that we can go through those questions, rock out looking at the template, and then we'll be done for today. Great questions, by the way. If anything comes up, feel free to let me know. So, for those of you who work with people in one way, shape, or form, beyond simply selling products anonymously, right? And when I say that, I mean, you know, you sell a product, but you upload it to a drop shipping or Amazon or eBay, and you know, they buy it and you're good to go. You know, some of us have more personalized services, coaching, consulting, all the things, right? You may want to create some sort of a Work With Me guide so that you can make the most of your content. The same content that I produce for myself as a web designer and graphics designer, I produce stuff for my business. I didn't become a web designer because I thought I was going to do that, or I even looked to do a career in web design. I have a degree in computer science because when I graduated Columbia, I wanted to build computer games, and then I started working at IBM. But because I started building my own websites and people liked what I did, they were like, oh, can you do that for me? So that, for me, was the beginning of my content to cash flow experience, taking the same content that I did for myself, repurposed it, and found other ways for me to generate revenue from it. So because a lot of times people come to me and say, LaShanda, oh my gosh, you have all these different things. How can I work with you? It's easy. I wouldn't say easy, but it's essential to have a Work With Me guide to make the conversations easier for you, especially if you don't have other people doing this for you. You know, nowadays everybody has a VA. It's like, oh, don't talk to me, talk to my VA. My VA will send you all that stuff, right? I'm like, oh, don't talk to me. Go to workwithme.sistasense.com. My virtual VA with my PDF will send you all that stuff. I'll make it once so I never have to do it again. But I'm probably going to update my current Work With Me guide using this template because it's just so pretty. So anyway, the first things that I want you to think about is, do you have any particular photos, links, or web pages that when somebody comes to you and they say, hey, how can I work with you, you want to send them to these particular pages, to these links, you want to show them these photos. Any of those things come to mind for you? First thing to think about. And as you're thinking about these things, where are these things? Just make note of that, right? Oh, I have some on my cloud, or, oh, you know, my photographer sent me this email and I have a link to this gallery online and da-da-da-da, all the things. Like, where's your stuff? So as you're thinking about these things, I want you to answer a few questions. This is a short list because there's an extended list of different types of content that you may want to highlight, okay? So first question is obviously, do you have any services that you want to highlight for people? I'm a web designer. I do graphics for people. I do tech stuff like help people with their funnels and emails and all the things. So I do offer a variety of different services for people, okay? So what kind of services do you offer? Do you have a page for people to see those services, or you know, a page where people can see examples of your work, right? Number two, outside of offering services, do you offer coaching or consulting? Do you have a page for people to go to schedule calls with you, right? I always say, hey, you want to talk to me, go to callme.sistasense.com. Do you need a speaker page, right? So do you need to be able to say, okay, well, do you want me to speak at your event? Well, here's my speaker information. Here's my media kit. Here's my headshot. Here's my speaker rates. Do you have those things put together? Now, I'm asking you this so that you can think on it and reflect on it. But as I'm asking you these questions, for those of you who are participating live, let me know if you have these things, or if you go, oh my gosh, thank you for letting me know, because I think that these are things that I need to do. I remember back in the day, the first time I heard people talk about speaking, because speaking, again, not something that I focused on as a part of my business model, just that people would say, oh my gosh, I love what you do. I love how you teach. Can you come to my event and speak? And so then as I looked at what professional speakers did, I was like, oh, I should have a speaker sheet with rates and all the things, right? It wasn't something I knew to do initially or had other people do for me. It just became a part of the learning process. So having a page or having a way for you to explain to people your services, how they can talk to you privately, or how they can have you, it doesn't necessarily just have to be privately. I work with a lot of clients who they do consulting for companies. They do consulting for nonprofit organizations, right? So, you know, what kind of consulting or coaching do you offer? Do you have not just speaker content, but maybe you have material that you want people to download, right? So for example, I have free templates that you can download. I have free content marketing plans that you can download. All of this, by the way, you can take a look at over at TCP. TCP stands for the content plan. So if you were to go to sistasense.com/TCP, you'd be able to see quite a few of the paid and free resources that I've created around content. So TCP, the content plan. If you were to go to sistasense.com/TTC, there we go, TTC. So TCP stands for the content plan. TTC stands for the template club, TTC. If you were to go there, you can click on links to download samples of what I share as part of the content club. Templates that you can use, very similar to what I'm doing here, right? So do you have material that you want people to be able to download? So as I'm asking you these questions, it's an opportunity for you to think about what you have, what you need to create. One of my favorite acronyms, AIMS, am I missing something, right? What you have, what you need to create, what you know that you need to go and look for, right? So outside of services, coaching calls, speaker pages, or even having a download page, are there any other pages that you would want? in your Work With Me document, just based on your area of expertise, based on your experience working with people, the kind of things that you know when they come to you they need, right? Maybe you work with career professionals and you do resume writing and career counseling. Unique to your industry, what are the parts of the process of onboarding new clients for you? Oh, you need this intake form. Oh, you got to do this assessment. Like, what do you need people to do, or what do you want them to see? Those are the kind of things that you need in your Work With Me document. Now, I've created a 20-page Work With Me document, and I go through multiple things because there's something different on every page, but I wanted to give you what I believe are some of the essential ones to start with. So, feel free to, number one, let me know as you're looking at this, any of these pages, you go, oh yeah, I definitely would want any of these. Let me know if there are other pages that you can come up with that you go, ooh, I think I might need that as well. And let me know that, drop that into the comment box. So as you're doing that, I'm going to do two things. Number one, minimize the screen. Number two, come over to the document that I shared here, because remember, you want to answer these questions in your document. And I figured it would be easier for me to put these in here so you didn't have to necessarily type them out. And then number three, I'm going to go in here. Now, I made copies of these, and I'm going to put my name in here so that I can rename them for myself. And I always say that once you get the template and you make it your own with your brand color and your logo and all the things, then that becomes your template because it's, you know, it's suited to your brand. Okay. So I am going to do some things. I mean, some things I'm not going to do because pretty much you can do it for yourself. I'm going to move this beautiful lady over here real quick, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a background color here, and this background color is blue. I'm going to change it to one of my purples. I may do the darker one. And then I'm just going to plop her right back. Then I'm going to go back to my photos. And I might just plop any one of these in here. Now, this is set up so that the photo actually it'll be like kind of black and white, and so it will match with the color in the background. If you wanted to adjust that and it wasn't grayscale, you can go to Effects to make adjustments to how your color looks. You can also go to Filter and Adjustments. These are available to you if you wanted to adjust how the color looks for this particular photo. Which one did I use? Did I use this one? Yeah. I'm not in the middle though. Let me try. Yeah, I think I like that one better. Yeah. I could have moved the other one, but whatever. Okay. So I'm just going to change it from Renee to LaShanda. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do because obviously, I mean, it's not set in stone. If you wanted to, you can move something around, you know. You can make something bigger, you can make something smaller, because people tend to tell me that they like my smile. I don't really want to block it, so I'm just going to move the Work With Me down a little bit because it was originally in the middle, and then get my name and move that down as well. If you want to change the colors, you can. If you want to change the font, you can. Go for it. So now I'm going to go to this page, switch that image over here, and it says meet, which is fine. And then I'm just going to put my name in here. I'm not going to change the text up because honestly, you guys know how to edit text. That's pretty self-explanatory. But of course, you have this here where you can put your business title. Let me actually zoom in on that just a little bit so it's easier to see. You can put your business title and your tagline, your social media profile here. Now, this is all grouped, but you can actually ungroup it if you want, number one. Number two, change the colors to match your brand. Number three, I'm sure you've experienced PDF documents that have clickable links in them. You can do the same here. So you can click each of these icons, then click the link option and put a link in here so that when you go to download and you save your document as a PDF, your links will be clickable. So for example, where it says Meet LaShanda, I can take my picture, I can grab the link to my website, copy that, and then click on my picture, click on the link option, and then put that there. Where it says Instagram, I can go get my Instagram link, then click on the Instagram icon, click on link, and then put that there. So then again, when I download and save this as a PDF document, my links will be clickable. How many of you put clickable links in your PDF documents? I'm amazed at how many people do not. I'm always amazed at that. This is pretty large text. It's 15.9. You can make it smaller if you feel like you have more to say. You can create multiple pages. Sky's the limit. This is just a foundation. If you don't want these social media links, you can remove them. If there are ones that you see here that you don't need, you can remove them. You can also change them. So if you go to elements, for example, let's say you want to look for Twitter. You'll notice that Canva has a very extensive collection of icons for all this, well, the major social media platforms. I've gone with a conventional set so that for your convenience, you can just simply use what you see here and eliminate what you don't need. But you can also go the route of using their own versions and or deleting. So for example, I can delete this whole set and say, you know what, I think I want all of my icons to be a certain color. By default, when you see some of them, not all of them, some of them you can change the color. So this one's a Twitter icon, and I can actually change it to purple. I can change it to anything that I want. And then I can shrink it, put it here. Now, as I mentioned before, when you customize your template to the way you want it, once you do that, you're good. So some people like the traditional colors of the social media icons as they are. Other people prefer to have the icons, but then have them colored to match their branding. So obviously it's only one template, so I couldn't do all the variations, but you could easily, if you wanted to, switch them out. Or some of you honestly go, look, you do this so well. How much does it cost for me to have you do this, 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 and that for me? Because again, I do this for clients all the time. So I'm not going to go through all of these because, as you can tell, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will do one more just to kind of round this thing out here so you can visually see what it looks like. And then I'm not going to do it now, but, you know, if I'm doing this for myself or somebody else professionally, I would zoom in as much as possible just so that I can make sure that they're all aligned and the spacing is right and they look good, and then go back. So you see it has a similar but kind of different look and feel now that I'm doing it, but I'm using my own personal brand colors. Faye says, you, my dear, you do it faster. Renee says, I love this. I cannot wait to play with the templates. Awesome. Needed the direction. Speaker, coach, consulting. Awesome. Good, good, good. So as you can see here, I have several pages already ready for you. And you can work with the stock photos or you can change them to suit your desires. So for example, work with, and then again, change the name, work with LaShanda, and you can describe it however you want, and then you can click, you could make this clickable. So for example, I'm going to go to my website. I don't remember the URL to my services page, but let's just go to welcome. And then I'm going to go over to services because I have a lot of them. So here's all my different services here. So I can then go back to my document where it says browse services, click on this icon and make it a link. Next one says speak with me, right? And also, again, you can use the stock photos as you see here, or you can use your own photos. So I love doing these virtual events with you guys, but it's so much fun when I get to hang with you in person. I do have a few photos of the last set of events that I did. Scrolling through, I'm going to just look for anything. This one's really old, but I always like this. I don't know why. I think we had the best time. There goes Rhonda and me and Eva, but because of how it's thing, it's not going to fit well there, or it's not like all of us in that shot. I like a long one, but I can't find a long one right now. There goes Marceline. Okay, so I'm not going to go crazy going through all these doggone photos. As you see me say that, and I'm still scrolling, right? I'm still scrolling. Okay, it is what it is. You can use, you know, okay, see, more. Just getting cute for the camera, right? You can use your own photos or stock photos. The choice is yours. I would have to just find a nice vertical folder. Photo, tongue-tied. All of these are landscape, so it's like it's cutting people off. But you get the gist, right? So then there's a Speak With Me page. So this page would go to your services. This page, you will explain if for your coaching or your consulting services, where can people go? And in my case, they can go to callme.sistasense to sign up to invest in scheduling a call with me, right? Then this page, book me. So where is your media kit? Where is my media kit? Drive. Let's go to my Google Drive. Let's go to LaShanda Henry bio. Okay. So this one, extended bio, media coverage, videos on website. Is this the one that I'm looking for? Oh no, I'm looking for the one with my pictures in it. LaShanda Henry media kit. Okay, yeah, this one's got headshots and pictures and things. It's an old one, but it does the job. So I can copy that link come into my document, download media kit, put that in there. Now, there are other pages like, you know, do you have something that you want them to download, or do you have, you know, something that you want them to join? We'll go through all the pages. But these are some of the essential ones that I've put in this document for you. Outside of the ones that I've put in the document, you can also think about for yourself, are there some ones that you want personally? Just you know for a fact that you want to add these in because it's unique to what it is that you do. And then, of course, the extended template that's a part of the template club has all 20 pages. The template club templates get released on the 5th of every month, and the first set is coming out tomorrow. Yay! So that includes the full Work With Me set and then the full Repurpose set inside the template club. So now I'm going to do one more thing, which is I'm going to download this as a PDF just so that I can show you those clickable links. And I haven't done much to this document, but I've done enough. And there's a lot that you can do either with just using the template as is, or, you know, just kind of really customizing it to make it your own. So this is almost done, just a minute or two more. Then once I show you those links, so for me, this is about convenience because ultimately I didn't link these. I can't show you these, but I think I did link this. So if you were to click on this, it would take you to the website. If you were to click on Browse Services, it'll take you to my services page. So that ultimately creating a document like this allows you to really organize your content, your expertise, what you offer in such a way so that when people come to you, either they are interested in interviewing you or booking you as a speaker or working with you as a client, you have something that you can easily give them that looks amazing. People pay me lots of money to do this stuff for them, so having a document that you can customize on your own definitely saves you time and money, and it also gives you direct access to make it your own. Because yes, you know, as designers and service professionals, we can do our best to actualize your vision and make it real, but it's nothing like you directly having access to be able to move things and shift things the way you want to see it come to fruition. So I truly hope that this has been helpful to you today to all the way break down, or at least you see why I can only do like a few of these, right? So imagine if I did all of them today, we'd be on here forever. But I did want to give you a little bit of everything. We are going to continue the conversation in 2 weeks because every month we do something new, and then I also always do these in 2 sessions for you, right? So the next time that we meet, we will continue talking about content creation, how to monetize your content, and also how to create your own challenges, as creating challenges is a great way to repurpose your content. So from this point, check in with me. Let me know if you have any questions. I definitely want to see what you guys come up with utilizing the templates. Keep working. The next thing that's happening is the Repurpose Your Content webinar this weekend. And again, when you go over to SistaSense.com/exclusive, you'll get more details about all of this. For those of you who are either in the template club or you're currently in the content creation challenge or the content to cash flow intensive, content to cash flow, we're doing this mastermind this month, but I'm actually doing a 6-week program so that myself and a few of you who are interested, we can work on 3 projects. We're going to be building subscription programs. We're going to be creating print-on-demand products and also low price point digital products too. So this is a great way for us to do this as a mastermind community, but I always like to also do periodically 6-week long or 12-week long weekly sessions with clients who want even more time with me and more opportunity to do some hands-on work together. So the Template Club, the Content Creation Challenge, the Content to Cash Flow 6-week program, then the Mastermind session to follow this one is happening 2 weeks from now. To learn more about all these things and more, you can go over to SistaSense.com/exclusive. If you do have any questions for me about what we covered today, feel free to ask me now or email SistaSense@gmail.com. Continue to work on your brain dump document. Share your designs with me. I would love to see them. And as you track your progress, you can post your updates in our Facebook group. Yay! That's a wrap. As I wrap up for today, I'm just going to check in and see what you guys have to say. Renee says, wow, awesome. Kenesha says, you are so great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys can check in and participate. Definitely can't wait to see what you do with the templates, Renee. So remember, in both Google and in Canva, you can click those cute little buttons that say share, and you can share your documents with SistaSense@gmail.com. Or you could just simply, when you're posting them online, tag @SistaSense, and I'll get an alert to come on over and take a look and see what goodness, what wonderful goodness you have put together. So, all right, y'all. That's a wrap. Enjoy the rest of your evening. The replays for today will be online in the member area within the next day or two, and then I'll have that next mastermind ready for you within 2 weeks, part 2 of Content to Cash Flow. Mwah! Take care.